Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Speaking of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler V series V's I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks. I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. The calendar might say we're still in summer, but everybody knows that it's actually fall. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside my truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is definitely the case today. I went over there, got off work about 20 minutes ago, got out of work pretty early today, and I was making my way back home, and I was like, man, you know what, I didn't have anything for lunch, I forgot to bring something, I didn't want to buy anything from the kiosk today, I'm going to go over there, I'm going to hit up a spot on the way home, right, but what spot to hit, I could do McDonald's, or I could do whatever, but I remembered, wait a second, I know there's a place that just went over there and unveiled their fall menu items. So, where did I go? What did I get? Folks, I went to boom! It's Dunkin, which I reviewed plenty of stuff from Dunkin, by the way. I have an entire playlist called Dunkin Sampler Platters. This particular item is part of their new fall menu. This is their almond spiced iced coffee. Yeah. Okay. Because, they already had the pumpkin spice and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, sure, why the hell not, man? We'll go in for that. Look at it. I'm sure it'll be great. Let's get a thing for the thing real quick here while I'm still conscious and thinking about it. Oh, maybe over here. Ha 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 ha! Let's try out some fall flavors. I like fall. Okay. It's not bad. It's definitely not my favorite thing I've had from Dunkin', but it's not bad. But let's get that second sipping. First sip is always misleading. Yeah. A little bit more mitigated. So here's the thing. I was going over there because I forgot what the name of it was after I ordered it. So I went over there and I was looking through the website. And as far as I can tell, the general makeup of this particular drink is the exact same as the pumpkin spice, just straight out pumpkin for almond. But all the other shit seems to be, and I could be wrong, but that's what it seemed like it, how it was set up. So as I'm drinking this, there is an almond aspect to it for sure. But then there's also this sort of lightly spiced aspect, which basically just tastes like pumpkin spice. Now, it doesn't taste pumpkin-y, but it has that same spice hit. So I get what they were doing with it, I would equate it to what they do with Transformers toys. I'm a big nerd, I like Transformers toys. One of the ways that Transformers has gotten away with, making 800 billion freaking toys is the fact that, they go over there and they reuse models. They tweak them a little bit, they repaint them, they do whatever. Suddenly, instead of one character, well, now you got an entire line of Seekers, because, whatever. That's what they did with this. They basically just took their pumpkin spice, and they're like, what if we just almond it up? But it's okay. It still has an identifiable coffee taste, this isn't a latte, it's not, a cappuccino or anything like that. It's a coffee. It's just obviously a coffee with a bunch of shit in it. Now that works for me because I'm not a huge straight coffee person. I tend to prefer coffee that does have a bunch of stuff in it to kind of make it not taste as much like coffee. That's definitely the case here. However, because it's not a latte, because it's not a cappuccino, something like that, you are still getting that coffee aspect. Whether, that's something favorable to you, or in my case, it can be a little bit hit or miss. In this case, I'm kind of willing to go with it. Because it's fairly mitigated, it's there. You can taste some of that sort of coffee bitterness. But it's got enough other stuff going on in it that I don't find it to be abrasive. Yeah, so I mean, I can kind of go with it. I will say I wish that the almond flavor was more prominent. It's there, and it's definitely identifiable as almond, but I don't know. I would have. I feel like this is one of those things where, especially when you're going to a place like Dunkin, where they're known for their coffee. Yeah, they're more of a donut place, but like, let's be honest, coffee is really kind of a big part of their thing. I kind of feel like, it's one of those things where the problem I'm running into with this is the fact that it's like, could I go over there and make a better tasting version of this at home with just some almond coffee creamer? And the answer is yes. It's just not anything all that special. I mean, I guess it does have the spice aspect, to be fair. There is that element to things. And that's kind of nice, I guess, but like in some ways I almost wish they would have just focused more on the almond, because that's really, that's the defining characteristic that I want highlighted. The spice element, again, it's fine, but then it just makes me think of pumpkin spice, and then it's like, well, why didn't I just get a fucking pumpkin spice? And people are like, bah, 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 pumpkin spice. Like, I like pumpkin spice. Not all the time, but, here or there. But I think overall as a drink, I still like it. It's got that almond hit, it's got the lightly spiced hit, and then it's got kind of a coffee finish. It's okay. I wouldn't consider it to be, again, anything that, is a favorite of mine from Dunkin', but I don't mind it as a drink. It's okay. But 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? No and sure, I guess. For me personally, even though I don't dislike it, I don't need it again in my life. Again, I could, with a fair amount of ease, recreate this into something that I prefer. This is not, it's not done poorly or anything, and again, I kind of like, at least in theory, the idea of the spiced element, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't think it focuses on the things that it should be focusing on, and I think that overall the presentation of it is just kind of mid, It's not terrible, but I don't need mid in my life, not when I could go to other places and get things I really like. If I'm recommending it, though, I mean, it's not a bad drink or anything. If it seems enticing to you, and it's going to be a limited time thing, so if it seems enticing to you, give it a go. However, here's my counterpoint to that. If you're in a situation, not everybody is, but if you're in a situation where you're anywhere near like a proper, like sit-down coffee place, and I understand not everybody always has that time. Fair enough. Sometimes the drive-thru just makes the most sense. You just want to get your shit. But if you do have a situation where, you have like local coffee spots and things like that, hit those places up. Seriously, like, yeah, usually you are paying a little bit more. And again, hey, sometimes, it just is what it is. But in my experience, the level of quality goes up exponentially. And, yeah, I wouldn't hit those places up every single day, but like, I know that there's places I could go to in my immediate vicinity where I could go over there and get something that's 10 times better than this for, just a slightly higher price. So, yeah. I'm not going to go over there and try to tell people not to try this, but at the same time, I will try to be like, yeah, you could do better for yourself. So, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year, folks. Go over there themselves a truly, whatever coffee you like, tastic rest of your life. Because at the end of the day, whether you like Dunkin' or Starbucks or your local thing, whatever, maybe you're just a Folgers person. That's fine too. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, when it comes to coffee, what's your preference? Are you just straight black? Do you like a bunch of foofy stuff? You know, what's your jam when it comes to it? And do you have any favorite spots, you know? Are you more of a Starbucks person? Are you more of just a Folgers person? Or do you like to, you know, maybe like hit up smaller shops and things like that, see what they have to offer? I know for me personally, there's a place, I've reviewed a number of their products called Brew Point, and they're a local place. And going there, man, like the difference in quality from, you know, the Dunkin stuff or even the Starbucks stuff was like astronomical. I was blown away at how much better it was. And that for me was really kind of a turning point of like, look, you know, I'm not a big coffee guy, but like if I'm going to go out for something just for me, not for a review, I'm getting something good because, you know, I deserve it. Do I deserve it? Probably not. But anyway, bye.